Welcome to this week's edition of the ATN Weekly News Roundup. I am Favor Aham, bringing you the top stories that shaped the world, Africa, and Nigeria. Beginning with the headlines. Zoran Mamdani wins New York City mayoral election. Australia expands social media ban for under-16s to include Reddit. Trump threatens military action in Nigeria over Christian attacks. Putin offers Russian plans to resume nuclear testing after U.S. move. Lafarge goes on trial in France over alleged jihadist funding. Trump downplays war in Venezuela but warns Maduro's days are numbered. A 6.3 magnitude earthquake kills 7 and injures 150 in Afghanistan. FIFA launches annual Peace Prize, first awarded at 2026 World Cup draw. Now to the news in detail, beginning from the international scene. In the United States, New York City made history this week as Zoran Mamdani, aged 34, clinched the mayor's office in a stunning victory. The Ugandan-born Democrat defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo to become the youngest mayor in more than a century and the city's first Muslim to hold the post. He says that they have toppled the political dynasty. He declared this in his victory speech, underscoring his campaign's charge for change. Turning to Australia, the government expanded its landmark social media restrictions by adding Reddit and the live streaming platform Kik to the list of services banned for children under 16. From 10th December, tech firms will face fines of up to 50 million Australian dollars if they fail to block or deactivate underage accounts, elevating child protection rules into one of the world's toughest regulatory regimes. Back in Washington, President Donald Trump issued a forceful ultimatum to the Nigerian government. He says if the continued killing of Christians in Nigeria is permitted, the U.S. may consider military intervention there. He says that the USA will go into what he called the now disgraced country, guns a-blazing. He posted this online, promising to halt all aid if Nigeria fails to act. The message jolted diplomatic observers and raised questions about the limits of U.S. influence abroad. Now in Russia, President Vladimir Putin formally ordered his defense officials to draft plans for resuming nuclear tests in direct response to comments by President Trump, who had instructed U.S. testing to restart. Putin told his Security Council that any U.S. move would force Moscow into appropriate retaliatory measures, signaling a fresh escalation in global nuclear diplomacy. Across the channel in France, cement maker Lafarge stood trial this week on charges of financing jihadist groups to keep its Syrian plants running during the civil war. Investigative judges allege millions of euros in payments to compounds affiliated with the Islamic State and other extremist factions between 2013 and 2014. The case marks one of the first times a major corporation faces terrorism financing charges in Europe. In Venezuela, even as President Nicolas Maduro remains in power, the U.S. president indicated that his days were numbered, while simultaneously playing down immediate war plans. The mixed message followed increased U.S. military presence in the Caribbean and intensified pressure on Caracas over drug trafficking operations. Analysts say the rhetoric aims to enhance pressure without triggering outright conflict. In Afghanistan, a 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck near Mazar-e-Sharif, killing 7 people and injuring around 150 others. The U.S. Geological Survey placed the epicenter in Zabul province at a shallow depth of about 7 kilometers. Evacuations took place in parts of northeastern Iran and the Pakistani border region, though officials reported No major infrastructure failures. Meanwhile, in the world of global sports and diplomacy, football's governing body, FIFA, announced the creation of the FIFA Peace Prize, Football Unites the World, to be awarded for the first time at the 2026 World Cup Finals draw in Washington, D.C. The prize is designed to honor individuals who have taken extraordinary action for peace, filling a role beyond the pitch in an increasingly divided world. Now that is it on this week's News Roundup. Join us again next weekend for the top stories shaping the world, Africa and Nigeria. I am Favor Aham. To have a lovely week.